Do you guys remember all the events and games that came out in 2022? In this game retrospective, I will show you some of last year's highlights split by month. So stay tuned to the end to not miss anything, and without any further ado, let's get started. Hey, what's up everyone? It is Tony here and welcome to the first video of this channel. It's funny how our mind can fool us from time to time. Sometimes we think we remember when a game was released, but our guess ends up being way off. For example, the Nintendo Switch has been around for almost 6 years and honestly, it doesn't seem like that long. In this video I'm here to remind you of some game releases and events that came up in 2022. Of course I'm not gonna talk about everything that happened last year, but I'll talk about what I think is the most important. Let me know in the comments if you think I should have included any other games on this list. So watch to the end and don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any new videos. January. On January 12, Capcom released Monster Hunter Rise on the PC. Shadow Man Remastered, the 1999 classic, was remastered and released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One and Xbox Series on January 13. Sony surprisingly ported its 2018 God of War game to the PC and made it available on January 14. The new Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six game, Rainbow Six Extraction, was released on January 20 for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Google Stadia and PC. Also on this day, the classic Pokémon-like Monster Harvest was finally on the PS5. Perhaps the most important release in January was Pokémon Legends Arceus. On January 28th, Nintendo released its brand new Pokémon adventure set in an open-world environment on the Switch. On the same day, Sony released Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection, but of course, it was not enough to overshadow Nintendo's release. This collection includes the games Uncharted 4: A Thief's End and Uncharted The Lost Legacy and was released on the PS5. On January 18th, Microsoft announced its intent to buy the Activision Blizzard company. It exploded like a bomb in the industry, mainly after Activision was involved in many recent scandals. Many other transactions happened in January, like Tencent acquiring the British video game company Sumo Group and Take-Two Interactive showing its intent to purchase the development company Zynga. But let's head to February now. February. Starting on the first day of the month, Square Enix released the Life is Strange Remastered Collection, which includes a remaster of the two first games of the series. You can find it on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Google Stadia and PC. On February 3rd, a 2014 game was ported to the Switch. Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishment is based on the famous detective. February 4th was the day Dying Light fans could finally play its sequel. Dying Light 2 Stay Human sets place 22 years after its predecessor and had a good reception overall, and can be played on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. The third game in the OlliOlli series was released on February 8th for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. Developed by the British Roll7, OlliOlli World's a 2D platform skateboard game. It seems crazy, but actually it's so much fun. On the same day, Sifu was released on the PS4, PS5 and PC. Sifu is a beat-em-up game set in modern China, and you play as a child of a martial art master. Every time you die in the game, you are resurrected by a magical talisman. The caveat is that you revive older than you were before. Kingdom Hearts fans had the best February 10th ever. 3 games of the series were released on the Switch. The games are Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Unfortunately, they were all released as cloud versions. Cyberpunk 2077 was finally in the next-gen consoles on February 15th. One of the most anticipated games in 2022 was released on February 18th on the PS4 and the PS5. Horizon Forbidden West continues the story of Aloy, a young hunter of the Nora tribe. On February 25th, the Game of the Year 2022 Elden Ring was released. The newest Souls-like installment takes more than 50 hours to beat, but if you're a completionist, we'll have to spend more than 100 hours on it for sure. I confess that I didn't have the patience to sit down and play through it yet. Nintendo announced on February 24th its acquisition of SRD. SRD was Nintendo's long-term dev partner that developed a lot of their most iconic games, like 1983's Donkey Kong, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, Super Mario 64, and many others. Also in February, Tencent announced the acquisition of 2 more studios, Inflection Studios and 1C Entertainment. Of course, let's not forget about the Steam Deck released on February 25th. March. Babylon's Fall was released on March 3rd, or should I say Babylon's Fail. After seeing so many videos and reviews of this game, I don't even wanna play it. I hope this was a lesson for Square Enix. You can find it on PS4, PS5 and PC if you wanna check it out. Then on March 4th, Gran Turismo 7 was released on PS4 and PS5. Looks great, but it's another pay-to-win game according to several gamers. I haven't played it yet, but the fact that I have to be online all the time makes me avoid this game. It's just ridiculous in my opinion. On March 10th, we got Chocobo GP on the Nintendo Switch. Not a bad game, but it's not a successor to Mario Kart either. Sometimes you can find it very cheap. I got mine for only 10 euros brand new. On March 11th, wrestling fans got another WWE game. WWE 2K22 is not my kind of game, but at least it doesn't seem to be as bad as its big brother 2K20. March 15 was the day that GTA 5 became next gen. That's what I call an system game. The Final Fantasy series got another game on March 18. Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise is a game I really wanna play. I'll play someday for sure. On March 25th, we had 3 great releases: Ghostwire Tokyo on the PS5 and PC, Tiny Tina's Wonderland for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land on the Switch. On the PlayStation VR side, on March 31st, we could play the Fantastic Moz Book 2. What a beautiful game, I just wish it was longer. On the market side, we had Atari acquiring the online gaming database Moby Games, Epic Games buying an internet music company called Bandcamp, and E3 22 being cancelled both online and in person. April. We had a new LEGO Star Wars game on April 5th, the Skywalker Saga. In this game you can play an adaptation of the 9 films in the Skywalker Saga. It's available on all main consoles out there and PC. On April 7th, Godfall was released. Terrible game on release, but apparently things got better after some update. If you wanna check it out, it's available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. The PlayStation VR also got a version of Deluxe Tale on this day. I love this game, it plays very well on VR. Still on April 7th, the Switch received a new Sherlock Holmes port, Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter, and also got the remake of the House of the Dead game. On April 19th, the PS4 and PS5 got another LEGO game, LEGO Builder's Journey. This one looks pretty fun, I'll probably pick it up at some point. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt made its appearance on the PS5 and PC on April 27th. On April 29th, the Nintendo Switch received the new Nintendo Switch Sports. Nothing much on the market in April, just Embracer Group acquired Beamdog and made it part of Saber's Interactive Aspire unit. May. The month of May was just okay. The highlights were Evil Dead the game, released on May 13th for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. Then on May 19th, we had Vampire the Masquerade Swansong on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. If you like visual novel games, you can play Arcade Spirit the new challenger since May 27. Not my kind of stuff, but I know a lot of people like the genre. If you are one of those people, you can find it pretty much everywhere on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. On the same day, we get a fantastic old school 3D platforming game called Kale the Kangaroo. This game is a reboot in the 4th game in the series, and you can play it on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. Still on May 27th, Bandai Namco released Pac-Man Museum Plus for the fans of the ever-hungry Yellow Circle. It includes 14 games from the Pac-Man series and it's available on the PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. On the other hand, we had some movements in the market, but the most relevant was Electronic Arts formally withdrawing from its license with FIFA after nearly 30 years, so no FIFA 24 for us guys, at least in the way we know it. June brought us some great games. On June 8th, we had Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 The Sith Lords going to the Nintendo Switch. On June 10th, it was time when Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba The Hinokami Chronicles received the Switch version. On the very same day, the Nintendo Switch was also receiving Mario Strikes Battle League, and the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC were receiving The Quarry. On June 13, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil 7 received their PS5 and Xbox Series versions. On June 16th, the magnificent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge was released for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC. This game really threw me back to the golden era of the arcades. It's an amazing game. Fall Guys went to PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and Switch on June 21st. Still on June 21st, Shadowrun Trilogy was released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and Switch. It includes Shadowrun Returns, Shadowrun Hong Kong and Shadowrun Dragonfall. Also Wreckfest was finally on the Nintendo Switch. A lot of nostalgia with the release of Sonic Origins on June 23rd. Two games hit the shelves on June 24th, Capcom Fighting Collection on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC, and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes on the Switch. June 28th, we got Disgaea 6 Complete on the PS4, PS5 and PC, and Phobia San Difna Hotel on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. To finish the month of June, Cuphead The Delicious Last Course DLC and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion were released on June 30th. Because E3 was cancelled, many conferences were made in June, including shows associated with the Summer Games Fest. July started well with F1 22 on July 1st for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC, but not many big releases during the rest of the month. On July 8th, we got another remake from an old series, Clonoa Fantasy Reverie series. Super fun game, but I'm waiting for the price to go down a bit so I can grab it. July 12th was the day the Garden Story showed up on the Xbox One and Xbox Series. It looks cool. Rune Factory 5 made its appearance on PC on July 15th. The Forza Horizon Hot Wheels DLC was released on July 19th and it's available on Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. July 21st made the Quest headset user very happy. Mossbook 2 went to the MetaQuest store and that's where I finished the game. It's so good. Also on July 21st, a 1994 Super Famicom classic returned to life on the Nintendo Switch. Live Alive, a JRPG that's definitely worth playing. Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town came to the PS4 on July 26th. And on July 29th, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 debuted on the Nintendo Switch. As for the news, Nintendo started acquiring the animation studio Dynamo Pictures on July 14th and announced on July 19th that the Nintendo eShop for the 3DS and Wii U will be closed on March 27, 2023. August. I'll start the month of August with 2 Point Campus, a simulation game from Sega released on August 9th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. On August 10th, Lost in Play was released on the Nintendo Switch and PC. It's an old-school point-and-click game and a game that's definitely on my radar. Cult of Lamb is an indie game that was very well received by the public. It was released on August 11th and hasn't disappointed. Next up, on August 12th, Sony released Marvel's Spider-Man on PC. On August 15th, Warner Bros. Games made Multiverses available to the public. Multiverses is a multi-platform Smash Bros.-like game featuring a lot of well-known characters. The game was well received by gamers and it's free to play. You can find it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. Unfortunately, it's not on the Nintendo Switch and by the time I was doing this video, nothing was confirmed if it's going to be ported or not. A new Kirby game was released on the Nintendo Switch on August 17th. Kirby's Dream Buffet, although not my kind of game, people gave great reviews on it. Madden NFL 23 made its appearance on August 19th on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. A new Saints Row game was released on August 23rd. It's a reboot of the series and it's available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. Bandai Namco released another Pac-Man game on August 26th. Pac-Man World Repack was released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. On August 30th, THQ Nordic released Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. It's a remake of the original game from 2006 and you can find it on the PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. Another great collection released on August 30th is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Cowabunga Collection. It's a compilation of 13 games of the Ninja Turtles which gives you hours of play. On the event side, we had the Pokemon World Championship between August 18th and 21st. It was the first one in Europe, London to be precise, since its beginning in 2004. Also we had the Gamescom event from August 24th and August 28th. September got some exciting releases. Let's start on September 2nd with the release of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, a fighting game where you can choose between 50 characters from the iconic Japanese anime and manga series. It was released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. Still on September 2nd, we got 2 more releases. Lego Brawls, another Smash-like game, but if you're into this kind of fighting style game and love Lego, this one is for you. It combines the best of both worlds and you can play it in pretty much everything. It was released on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. And The Last of Us Part 1 on the PS5. The same game as the PS3 and PS4 but with slightly better visuals. I might check it out when it's cheaper, but definitely not worth the full price in my opinion. September 6th had 3 great releases: Biomutant, the 2021 release that made its appearance on the PS5 and Xbox Series, Temtem, a Pokemon-style game that apparently has more to offer than being a simple copy and was very well reviewed and released on PS5, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. and the Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition. The Tomorrow Children was first released in 2016, but because it was a free-to-play game and Sony Interactive didn't have much of the experience needed to monetize it properly, it ended up being shut down in 2017. Later, Q Games bought the IP from Sony and released the Phoenix Edition on PS4 and PS5. Let me know in the comments if you played this game back when it was first released. September 9th was a much awaited day. It was not because NBA 2K23 was released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch and PC, but it was because Splatoon 3 was out for everyone to play on the Nintendo Switch. There were already 4 Splatfests to the date this video is being made, and I'm sure more will come. On September 14th, PC gamers could play Judgment and Lost Judgment. Judgment is a spin-off of the Yakuza series and well worth playing. On September 17th, Nintendo Switch and PC gamers had a nostalgic release. Return to Monkey Island, the 6th game in the 2D point-and-click series, was finally released. The fans of skateboard game finally got a new release. Session Skate Sim is a skateboard simulation with a steep learning curve, way more difficult than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Skate 3 and not as good as those games, so it's worth checking out. It was released on September 22nd on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One and PC. If you like rhythm games and Japanese drums, you will love to play Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival, released for the Nintendo Switch on September 23rd. But the best release in my opinion on September 23rd was Shovel Knight Dig. This is the franchise's third game and acts as a prequel to the original game. This game is available on the Nintendo Switch, PC and Apple Arcade. On September 27th, Grounded finally came out for the Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. In this survival game, you are able to switch between third and first person view to give you hours of entertainment. And on September 30th, FIFA 23 became available to the public on almost every console. It's available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. Enjoy this one guys, as there won't be FIFA 24. And the winner of the highlight of the month is Google. They announced that the Stadia will be shut down on January 18, 2023. October. October had a bunch of great releases. Let's start on October 4th when Overwatch 2 was released. It's a free-to-play online first-person shooter game that you can find on pretty much everything on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. Your Automata, the end of your edition, came to the Nintendo Switch on October 6th. On October 7th, it was time to get No Man's Sky on the Nintendo Switch. Not the best graphics, but an excellent port. The Nintendo Switch Classic got more modern versions on October 11th. No More Heroes 3 is now available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. LEGO Brick Tales saw the light of the day on October 12th. LEGO Brick Tales is a puzzle adventure game released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. Triangle Strategy got ported to the PC on October 13th. NHL 23 was made available on October 14th on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One and Xbox Series. Also on October 14th, we had Dragon Ball The Breakers and Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway, both on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. A new Plague Tale installment came to life on October 18th. The Plague Tale Requiem is a sequel to the first game and is available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, PC and Nintendo Switch as a cloud-based game. Still on October 18th, we had Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed being released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. 2 ports came out on October 19th and 20th respectively, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection on PC and Alan Wake Remastered on the Nintendo Switch. On October 20th, Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope was released for the Nintendo Switch. Gotham Knights was released on the PS5, Xbox Series and PC on October 21st. Sackboy: A Big Adventure went to PC on October 27th. The Nintendo Switch received the new Bayonetta 3 on October 28th. And on the very same day, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. And Resident Evil Village went to the Nintendo Switch as a cloud-based game. On the market side, the highlight was fandom acquiring GameSpot, GameFAQs, Giant Bomb, Metacritic and others from Red Ventures for $55 million. November brought some long-awaited games, however this doesn't mean that all had good reviews. Starting on November 4th, Nintendo Switch and PC players got Harvestella, a Square Enix game with good reception among gamers. Still on November 4th, the Nintendo Switch received a version of the co-op action game It Takes Two. On November 8th, the Nintendo Switch finally welcomed Oddworld Soulstorm, and Return to Monkey Island received its PS5 and Xbox Series versions. But the highlight of the day goes to Sonic Frontiers, a new open-world 3D platform game starring the most famous blue hedgehog in the world. You can play it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Kratos and Atreus were back on November 9th. God of War Ragnarok is their newest adventure set in the world of Norse mythology. Another nostalgic release took place on November 11th. Atari 50th anniversary celebration includes over 100 games from different consoles of the iconic company, including 6 new ones inspired by classics, and is also an interactive encyclopedia very well designed. Worth noting that all the games are from Atari, so some classics from other companies are not in this collection, unfortunately. But it's a must-have for an Atari fan who grew up playing their games. It was released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Still on November 11th, Capcom released the cloud version of the Resident Evil 2 remake on the Nintendo Switch, and Square Enix released Valkyrie Legion on the PC. On November 15th, PS5 gamers could finally play their own version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and the JRPG Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 was released on November 16th on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. The Nintendo Switch had one of its most important releases on November 18th and probably the most disappointing ones, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. They also received Resident Evil 3 Remake in cloud version. A new Dark Pictures anthology game, The Devil in Me, was also released on November 18th for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach went to Xbox One and Xbox Series on November 21st. Evil West was released on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC on November 22nd. A remake of the 1991 game Joey Mac Caveman Ninja was released on November 24th on the PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch, and on November 30th on the Xbox One and Xbox Series. PC gamers would receive their version only on December 1st. On the business side, Square Enix Montreal was closed on November 1st, less than 3 months after Embracer Group acquired it. December could have been way better considering Christmas was right around the corner. But anyway, let's start with a new VR game. On the first day of December, PSVR MetaQuest and future PSVR 2 players received The Walking Dead Sentient Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution, Marvel's Midnight Suns and Need for Speed Unbound on the PS5, Xbox Series and PC, and The Callisto Protocol on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC were released on December 2nd. On December 6th, Hello Neighbor 2 was released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series and PC. And on the same day, Sky, Children of the Light got to the PS4 and PS5. A new Dragon Quest game, Dragon Quest Treasures, came to the Nintendo Switch on December 9th. On December 13th, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion went to the shelves and was released on pretty much everything. You can find it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition went to the PS5, Xbox Series and PC on December 14th, worth noting that only the Complete Edition was released on PC. Resident Evil 7 was released on the Nintendo Switch on December 16th. Like Resident Evil 2, 3 and Village, only a cloud version of the game is available. And last but not least, the 2006 PSP game Valkyrie Profile Lenneth went to the PS4 and PS5. Market-wise, 2 important events took place on December 8th. The US Federal Trade Commission moved to block Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and that was the day the Game Awards 2022 happened at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. So that's it for today, guys. The video was longer than expected, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notifications so don't miss any new videos. I'll post videos every week. As I said at the beginning of the video, leave in the comments if you think I left out any great games from this list. Thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.